So guys, welcome to my Tenet movie review. And this will be a spoiler-free review. Yeah, I can guarantee that. Couldn't freaking explain this movie if I wanted to. In this video, I'm gonna review Tenet, rate the movie, explain why so many people are finding it confusing, and tell you how to properly view this movie so you can enjoy your first watch and not walk out with a headache. I don't get headaches. Bro, my head was freaking splitting walking out of there. But that doesn't have to be you. And this movie is definitely a freaking experience. Speaking of experiences, this is gonna be the first time for a lot of people going to a movie theater in months. And I had a great time at the theater across the street, Silver Spot. It's my favorite theater. Everything was touchless, sanitizer galore, multiple screenings, so everybody was seated really far apart. I was hesitant going, but felt safe immediately. Yay theater. Now I love me some Christopher Nolan, man. I've been a fan since the beginning with like Memento. Great freaking movie. I enjoy his creative storytelling, and I appreciate when a movie makes you figure things out and doesn't just feed you the information like the audience is stupid. And you know the studios, they trust Nolan. They just probably sign off on his projects like, yeah, here you go. Because anyone else pitching his stories, they'd sound like they're on something. Like some strong stuff. Dude, so this crew, they like steal stuff. Oh, so it's a heist movie. By going into people's dreams, man. So this astronaut like travels to try to find a new planet for us. That sounds simple enough. On his way back, he turns into like a speck of dust and he hangs out in his daughter's bookcase, man. So yeah, the studio does trust him. Now, if you did notice the writing on the wall and feel that his movies were increasingly becoming more complex, you were not wrong. No, the complexity here with Tenet makes Inception feel like an episode of The Wonder Pets. It's like that. And even though Tenet is 2 hours and 30 minutes, it doesn't feel like it, dude. This movie goes by fast, which is cool. Right off the bat, the action starts off and it's great. The music, it's fantastic. Hans Zimmer is always the guy that does the Nolan music. He couldn't do it this time because he's working on Dune. So Christopher Nolan brought in Ludwig Göransson. I'm sorry if I screwed that up, dude. But it sounds very much like Hans Zimmer. It's grand and it's fantastic. Unfortunately, it's also really freaking loud. So is the sound in this, to the point where you could have trouble hearing what people are saying. This is kind of a weird habit that Nolan picked up doing The Dark Knight Rises, and he just kind of continued it on. It doesn't help with a movie like this where you really need to listen to what people are saying. In fact, I'm confident right now saying that this is easily the loudest movie I've ever seen, or heard. You know what I mean. Now, you are going to hear a lot of people saying Tenet is a very confusing movie. I would have to agree, and I know some of it is definitely the audio that I was just talking about, but I know it's not just that. This scientist lady is training John David Washington, and she's like, don't try to understand it, just feel it. And I'm like, no shit. By the way, John David Washington, he's freaking great in this. He was in BlacKkKlansman. He's Denzel's son. Robert Pattinson's good in this too. I can't wait to see what he does with Batman. In fact, all of the actors are solid in this. It's the storytelling and the plot that I'm kind of like, and I'm not so much talking about the time thing. It's more the who's, wins, whys, and whats that could maybe use some clarity. It's not that I want things dumbed down, no, but it's like the movie is getting out of its way to confuse you at times. Even with the time thing, that isn't that confusing until they start explaining it. It's almost like if I tell you, I saw a mobile transport with an installed cooling system that uses external audio to announce its presence when delivering rations. Or I can just say, I saw an ice cream truck. That's what the movie does at times. Yeah, the dialogue about time travel is deliberately confusing. And the dialogue about the plot seems like it's deliberately vague. And it does feel at times like the movie's purposely doing this in areas that it doesn't have to. I kept chuckling every time a character in the movie said, I'm confused or I don't get it, which is said a few times. I was like, yep, right there with you, bro. There's a part where Twilight Sparkles tells BlacKkKlansman, well, try and keep up. And I was like, is Christopher Nolan trolling us? And listen, this is a good movie. I'm not saying you're totally lost here either, but there were a few times where I was like, nope, not today, Satan. I finally understand this. And then Christopher Nolan was like, oh yeah, we'll take this, and drops a bunch of unclear or unintelligible freaking dialogue. Again, making the who, what, whys, and all that stuff in the plot kind of cloudy. Not going into detail, but 90 minutes in, if Washington takes a ride on a fire truck and the music cues, and it's good, and you know you're about to see something epic, bro. I just wish I kind of had a clearer idea of what the mission was. Yeah, could you imagine if it's just the audio? Like I stream this and I tweak my surround sound and suddenly the plot is simple. Still, this is a visually stunning movie, and whenever the movie's like an action mode, you do follow it, and you do know what's going on better as the movie goes on, which I think is because they're stopping with that exposition. And obviously, this is a very intelligent film. Too smart for its own good? Maybe. Will it improve with multiple watches? I'd say definitely. And even with a rough first watch, I have to respect the craftsmanship, man. There was a long conversation at the end of this with 3 characters. I was so fried by that point. I could almost see Christopher Nolan on the screen looking down at me and being like, put this on some of your popcorn. This would be confusion. It's not anything else. And what I would recommend that you do is please listen to the advice given in the beginning of the film. Don't try to figure it out. Definitely not in a first viewing like I was trying. Just freaking enjoy it, because if not, it will get frustrating. Bro, that freaking headache last night. Wow. Guys, go in the comments and let me know what you thought about Tenet. Thanks for watching.